Hello, friends. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here, bringing you my daily diary segment. What did I do each day? Today, I want to cover Thursday, June 11th through Saturday, June 13th of 2026. These were 3 busy, packed days in Washington, D.C. and right outside of Washington. I'm going to tell you what it was about. Now, the previous day, I had flown into Washington. We had the pro-life leaders gather for a hospitality reception at night, as I told you in the previous segment. And then on Thursday, the 11th of June, was the 115 Forum meeting, a quarterly meeting of national pro-life leaders that we coordinate, and was held at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. So we started out with, I started out with some work at my computer. I had to communicate with the staff about some upgrades to certain web pages, some advice that a Silent No More regional coordinator wanted to get from me, an email and mail going out approving the text, and of course last minute communications about the forum meeting itself. But then we went down for an early breakfast at this about 6:30 or so at the hotel's cafe, and then gathered together with our associates from Priests for Life that helped coordinate this meeting, and we walked just down the road a little bit from the hotel to the Museum of the Bible and got ready for the meeting. Made sure everything was set up, made sure the sign-in materials were ready. We talked with one another, and we greeted the leaders as they began to arrive for the all-day meeting. Very, very fruitful. Updates on federal and state legislation, pro-life litigation in the courts. We had one of the executives from Ballotpedia with us, a great online political resource that we always recommend. He gave a great presentation, and then we had breaks for networking. We had other updates on law, family policy. The head of the National Family Policy Alliance, Craig LaRoche, someone I've been wanting to get in these meetings for a long time, addressed the meeting. We had a representative from the White House give us an update. We had lunch all together. We had the CEO of the Washington Times come and join us. We had an update on the research library for pro-life research. A statistical update from Dr. Michael New. We had an opportunity, which I also gave one of the presentations, of having 1-minute reports from the different groups in terms of upcoming projects and activities. Had to step away to make a couple of phone calls and then had the final meetings in the afternoon before the meeting finished at about 5 p.m. And then we Janet and I went over to another hotel in Arlington because when the meeting was finished, we needed to go over to another hotel to start setting up for the National Right to Life Convention, which was happening in the next 2 days. So we transferred from one hotel over to the other, checked into that other hotel, saw where the exhibit space was going to be, greeted other pro-life leaders as they were coming for that convention. Some of the same people that were at the leadership meeting, but also some different people, and settled in there for the evening. Friday, the 12th of June, brought us the National Right to Life Convention. Started early. Let me see the schedule here. Started early at my desk. Had to do things on email relating to website revisions, technology upgrades, advice to different leaders, looking ahead to the January prayer service, and other preparations for trips and broadcasts and so forth. But the bulk of the day was interacting with the pro-life participants in this National Right to Life Convention. So had breakfast, worked with Janet to set up our exhibit table and all the materials on it as people began to come by and greet us, say hello, look at our latest materials. And we just spent the day both attending sessions and presentations, but mostly at our table and elsewhere in the convention area, interacting with various state leaders, pro-life activists, some of whom we've known for decades, and I've made so many trips into their states, and it's like a big family reunion getting together. And then other national leaders too who came, some of whom were speakers at the event. I attended the general session in the morning. Of course, the president of National Right to Life was there, and Kristen Hawkins gave an address. She's absolutely marvelous. And then I attended one of the workshops about the 119th Congress. And the executive director of National Right to Life gave that presentation together with one of his other team members, but we talked about, of course, the very important topic of legislation advancing that helps the pro-life movement. His wife is a member of Congress, by the way, and she was there for a part of the session as well. We had lunch. There was a Champions for Life luncheon, and I connected there with the keynote speaker, who's very much supportive of our work. His name is Brylan Hollyhand, and you may see him on media sometimes. He's getting into conservative media a lot. In the afternoon, I went to one of the sessions on the midterm elections and different referenda that are on the ballot relating to abortion. And then, of course, time with Janet at the booth and interacting with different pro-life participants. Continued that through the course of the afternoon. And then had a dinner break. We had some of our key Priests for Life supporters there at the conference with us, and we had dinner together and continued conversation into the evening. Then the next day, Saturday, June 13th, the conference continued the full day and night. I started out with a breakfast with our friends, Janet, and also our Priests for Life friends. We had a good conversation at breakfast, and then began networking with the different leaders. I had to do a little bit of checking in on my laptop with some interview plans with other leaders, looking about doing plans for an interview with Inside the Vatican. You may know about that magazine and the people who run it. Donor calls, and also travel planning. These were emails, of course, with staff about those things. Had a good morning networking with people there at our exhibit table. Lots of people coming up to us interested in our new materials, and in conversing about the progress of the pro-life movement. Went into one of the general sessions with a longtime friend and legal advisor, James Bopp Jr., who advises National Right to Life and many other groups as well. He gave a great presentation, as usual, about various requirements of the IRS and compliance. Lunch session, another session. Sessions continued in the afternoon, but spent most of the time at the booth. But I had lunch with two young leaders, including one leader there in Rhode Island that arranged last year a trip for me into the state, and just keeps in touch and does some great work. But we had lunch meeting together, and then continued networking throughout the afternoon. There was Mass at the end of the afternoon that I attended, and then the closing gala. Scott Jennings, the conservative voice on the panel on CNN, you probably see him. He's come out with a great book also about President Trump. Scott was there. I had a chance to converse with him, and he gave the speech at the closing banquet. Really, really great. Continued to network until late into the evening. And those were the days, 3 busy Washington, D.C. networking with pro-life leaders and activists days, June 11th to 13th of 2026. Hope your days are going well, too. And we'll talk to you soon.
Follow him, Frank Pavone, Fr. Frank Pavone. He is the National Director of Priests for Life. Please go to priestsforlife.org.
Frank Pavone. Frank, thank you very much.